Hey all of you, hope you guys are great. So we are back once again. In the last video we have built the entire architecture for our detail page. We have imported all the component, we have written all the functions, and now it's time to actually call those function into the component and feed the real data. So here I'm into the detail page. Now what I will do, I'll come back here. So you can see this is where we left. Every single thing is working fine. The UI is absolutely perfect. And we have all of the demo data. We have to feed the actual data. Come back here. Now we have to go into the here we can come back and we have to simply pass the props. So the first thing we have to pass the property data. Once we pass the property data, we have to pass the review data. Let's pass the review data. After the review data, we have to pass the set like review, and in that we have to simply pass the set like review, and we have to simply pass the like review call function, and in that we have to pass the function name. So simply remove this one. Now these are the 4 props we have sent, and then we have to simply call the buying property, and we can come up here. We have to add the address because we have to do a couple of checks based on the user existent. Then we have to set this is loading to is loading, and now we have to call the buy loading is going to be a buy loading. So all of these props we are sending in detail component because there we're going to do all the experiment with our data. Come back here, and now we have to receive all the props. So we have to simply select all of these, remove it one by one. Then we have to click remove this one, then we have to remove this one, select and remove, select, remove, select, remove. And finally here we have all the props which we need to display the data. Now we can come up here and we actually need to feed the actual data. So what we can do, come up here, come here we're going to say const time comment, because we have to display the random time of the comment which user are doing. You can do based on the smart contract, but we haven't included that in the smart contract, so I will go for this random timing for the time being. Okay, and we're going to simply call this one multiply by 1e12. So it will give us the random time which we can display, a random number you can call it. So this looks fine. Now what we can do is come up here and we have this row, so we can import couple of things. We have to import the loader because that's what we have to display. So we'll call loader. Let's bring this up, and we have to import one package for displaying the counter timer. Okay, simply come up here, bring this up and close this one, come back to the packages and file, and you can see right now we don't have that timer. I forgot to install it, but in the final code you will have that timer, so make sure to check from there. So what I will do, I'm going to install the timer counter. Okay, so this looks pretty fine. This is the dev dependency we have, and this is the script. Close that one, close this one, and open up your terminal, split the terminal, and now we have to install the package. We'll say npm I, and this is the package you have to display, install react countdown, and this will install it. And now you can simply import that and use it in the component. So if I reload the browser, you can see nothing is wrong, everything is working fine, and we have all of this. So we have to import the package we have installed. So we'll say like count down, and that's coming from the react countdown. So we got this package, and now we can utilize that one. So we can come up here and we try to feed the actual data, because right now we have the information about the properties, and we have to replace the demo data and feed the actual data. So if I scroll down here, we have the image, and this is the image, all the images. We'll only add one images because that's what image I have. You can add multiple images, totally up to you. So we'll take this dynamic block, we'll say is loading is true, then we have to display the loader component, otherwise we have to display our image. So that's the logic. We are really simply cut and paste here, and in that we have to display the actual image. So we'll take this template literal approach, remove that one, and we'll say this property image, save it, and that will fix the issue. If you reload the browser, you can see we have the image. Okay, the image is broken. The image is not displaying. Something is wrong. The image must be there. So what I will do, I'll come back here and I'll try to click on other properties. So let's click on this property, and if I come here in the product detail page, property detail page, you can see the images are broken. These are working fine, hardcode data, but the images are broken. I'll come back to the code and something's wrong here. Why the images are not displaying? So we have this property image. What I will do here, I'll come up here and I'll try to console log out the entire data which we are getting. So we'll have that property, and that's what we're going to simply render it. So I'll do the inspect element to check whether we have the data or not. So we are getting an object. Okay, there is something wrong. We want the data. We are getting these function and object, everything and all. Okay, there is some problems we have in the code. So there is some issues. If I come here we are sending the data. Let me have a look. We have the properties, and that's one is the property we have. That's the property we have. Okay, so this is the property, that's what we are sending, and here we have the get property. I'm simply updating the data. This is the data of the single property, and that's what I'm simply updating. But why it's not working? So I was stuck for a while to find out that what problem we have in the code, and I made a very silly mistake. So you can see this is the entire props we are importing here, and we are importing straight away. So we have to simply provide this brackets, and that will fix the issue. So save it, and now if you come back to the browser, you can see it's going to console log out it. So inspect element, then you will come here and you can see here we have the object, and this is the entire data we are getting: address, category, description, image, owner, price, product, title. So all of the data we have. Reload the browser and you will still find the data is coming. So it's taking a little bit time, and just wait. And here we have that one, and the image is broken. We have to fix that one. Simply get this image, and that's what we have to pass here. So simply scroll down, and we have tons of codes. And okay, I forgot to add s. Simply replace that one, and that will fix the issue. Save it, and here we have the image. Don't need to worry about the ratio of the image size, because we're going to use the fixed size like 500:500. So that looks pretty fine. All the tabs are working fine. Now we have to simply display all of this data. So we can come up here and we have to display the name. So simply replace this one, and we have to display the name. So we have property, title, and I want to slice it down. I don't want to display the entire name, so we'll say 25. So 0, 25, and here we have to provide the question mark, because sometimes the data will take a little bit time to load. So that's why we are making this. And here we have to display the number of, so let me display the present review and length. So here we'll display the number of review a particular property have got. So that looks pretty fine, and this is the entire CSV file. And here we have, so this is the share button. We're going to make a dynamic block here. So we'll say property owner. If it's equal to the person who is connected with the application, then we want to display this particular button. So simply cut this one, and that's what we're going to paste here. And here we're going to say update price. So we'll allow only owner to update the price. So that's our dynamic block. And here we have all of this data. We have to simply replace this one. So here we'll display the number of the actually the ID of the property. So we'll say property ID, and this is the entire span. And here we have the portal. Actually I made a mistake, so what I will do is simply cut this entire one. I will remove this one, and that's what I'm going to attach here. Simply come here and paste here. Okay, so that looks pretty fine. And here we have to display the category, and here we'll display the category. So let's say property category. So we have the category, looks fine. And now we can come here and we can display the address of the user. So we'll say property dot owner, and we have to slice it down. So let's make it to 0 to 25 and give this dot. So that looks also good. So we are done with this. Now what we can do is we can simply come here, and here we have to replace, and we have to display the property category. So that's also looking good. Now what we can do is come back here, and we don't need this actually. Remove this one. If you want to keep it, you can, but I don't want. And we can come here. Here we have all the different buttons, and here this is the label attribute we have assigned. Now what we have to do is we have to take this dynamic block, and in that we'll say that review, and we're going to simply render the entire review which we will have in the properties. So simply take this one, instant return, and we have to get this first review block. So simply close this one. This is the one which I have to take, cut, and simply paste here, and that looks fine. And here we have to assign the key, otherwise it will throw an error. React will complain. And here we have to attach on click function, and on the on click function we have to call the function called set like review, and in that we have to simply deconstruct the like object. So what name I have given, so come up here, and this is the one we have. So let's come back to the like. So this is the one, the state variable we have taken. Inside that, this one, sorry, this one, like review, and that's what we have to pass into this props. Come here, simply come back to this, and we have to receive this one. Looks pretty fine, and that what we have to pass here. So first we're going to deconstruct that. So here we are, first deconstruct this, and then we have to update the id, and the id will start from 0 1 2 so on. Okay, index, and in that we have to simply pass the I, and that will give us the id of that particular review, and that we can utilize it to pass it. You can say we have the product id and review index. Looks good. Now we are done with this. Now here we can do one thing. Here we can have this images, so we can take this template literal because we want to display different images, and let's provide this one, and let's change this number. So we'll have I plus 1, so it will update in every single render, and here we can display the messages. So this is the spam I have. I will simply come and remove this one. Inside that I will say review, if review has reviewer, and I have to slice it down his address to 25. So we'll display the address of the reviewer, and here we have to display the random time. So I'll say I plus 1, because right now in our contract we haven't stored any time which we can render. If you want, you can create a variable in the contract, in the review struct, which can keep the track of when the user are giving the review, and you can convert that timestamp into the present time so other can know. But we're not going to include that one. We'll simply display the random time. That looks fine. Now what we can do, remove this one. We don't need this actually. So we have the address, and actually we'll display the time, but not here. So you can come here, you can see the image are loading, and whatever data we have passed, here we have, you can see the title, the address, and the category, but the address is quite big. We have to slice it down to little less. You can see all of this data is working fine, and here we're going to display the actual data. So pretty good we have. Come up here, go back to the address where we are rendering, because we have to slice it down to small. So where it is really huge, and this is the one which we have to reduce. So let's make it to 15, and that will fix the issue. You can see now our UI is looking perfect. So what I will do now, here we have the tabs. So we have the collections. So this is the category we have, and here we have the collections, and here we have the buttons. So what we can do is, let's close all of this because it's hard to find out in which one we are working on. So let's remove this one because we don't need this one, because we are rendering on the loop. Whenever we have the review in our review array, that's what we're going to loop it. So that will fix the issue. And here we have to rename this comments, the tab button, and this will be detail, and this will become the user interested users. And here we have the tabs, looking quite good. And here we can display the, let's come up here, and what we can do is, here we are in the detail 5. Here we can go, and from here we can take this particular like heart button, heart icon, and this is the CSV file we need. So let me find out where it is. Yeah, this is the one. Simply take this one, entire one, React area. Grab this entire one, and that's what we need, because we want to allow them to like the particular review, and that's what we're going to paste here. So come here and paste here. So that's what we have here, and this looks pretty good. No issues we have right now. Things are pretty good. And we can come up here, and what we can do is, this is the span we have. We can display the, actually we can display the random time you can display. So we'll say hour ago. So that looks fine. So okay, and here we're going to take another span, and here we're going to display the actual comment. So we'll provide this class count number, and in that we can simply pass the review. So we'll have the review, and inside the review we'll have the comment, and that's what we're going to display. And we have to slice it down. We don't want to display the entire one, so we want to slice it down to 17 characters, and we'll say review dot comment, and if its length is greater equal to 93, then we have to slice it down. We have to attach this one, otherwise we don't want to add anything. Hope this will make sense to all of you guys. So things are looking pretty good. Now what we can do, simply select all of this and remove that one. Okay, I made mistake. Simply go back, select all of this code and remove that one, and that looks pretty clean to me. And here we have a couple of things. So what we can do is, this is the place where we have to display the actual address of the owner. So we have the address of the owner. Now we have to slice it down 20 and dot. So this is the address. Now we can do one thing, come up here, and here we have to simply display the property. Simply take this one, and that's what we're going to call in here in this div. Okay, simply remove this extra div, scroll down, and we have to, okay, it's hard to find, so what we'll do, we'll bring it back, and now I'm going to close it on, and this is the one div I have to import. So simply do one thing, close this one, 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 and close this one, and close this one. So this is the div I have to remove this one and remove this one, property wrapper, and that looks fine. Now we can come up here we can type, let's say, title, and we can display the title of the property. So simply pass the title here, so property dot, and we'll say title, and we'll display the entire title. We don't need to slash it down. Come back to the next one, and here we have to display, take this one, paste here, and here we can say description, and here we'll display the description of the property. So we'll say description. So that's also looking good. Now come back to the third one, and here we have to simply do the exact thing. So this time we're going to render the address of the property, and in that we have to pass the address of the property. So what I will do here is, so this is the classes we have. Now simply remove that one, and that's the address we want to provide. So we'll say property dot address, and that's fine. We have the address. Come back to the next one, simply paste that, and this time we're gonna call this one to, let's say, what data we have. So let's call this, bring it back, let's call this to price, and we'll say 18 decimal. This one is totally optional because we are displaying the actual price, and here we'll pass the price to property dot price, and we'll say Meticoin. So that looks fine. Simply remove this one, we don't need that. Come back here, and we can simply grab this one, grab this h heading tag 6, and that's what we'll replace here. And in this we're going to say, like, we'll say property id, and on the id we have to provide the id of the property. So this will be property id, remove this one, and that looks fine. So that's also done. Come here we have to replace and paste here, and we can simply display the property category, and we can remove this one. So that looks good. and we can remove this to div as well. So these are the things, looks pretty fine to me. Hope you guys have followed what we have done, and let's have a look one more time. And this is the second div we have, which let's remove this one. We don't need that actually. Save it, and we can come here, tap panel fade, and this is the component we have. We'll come here, simply close this one, take a dynamic block, and in that we can say parse review, and we have to loop over it. We'll say interested, interest I, and we have to make it insert return. And in this we go to display the address of the user, those who are interested in the property. So that's what we have here. We have to take this image into a dynamic one. So come here, take this template literal, and we have to simply update this number. So we'll say I plus 1, so we'll have a different image. And here we have the top seller content. In this particular span we're going to remove that one, and here we can display the actually we can display the interested and the reviewer address, and we have to slice it down to, let's say, 0 to 40 characters. So we have the address of the user, and that looks fine. And we'll take another span. Down below we'll display the hour ago, the timestamp. So that looks pretty fine. It's working good. Now we are done with this, and this is the component we have. Actually simply close this one, close this one, close this one, close this one, and this is the same repetitive component, but we don't need this one. Simply select and remove that one. So our dynamic component is ready, and here we have the binning width. So here we can display the recent comment. So we'll say recent, and we can simply close this one, close this, and this is the two divs we have. So go to the first one, we'll take a dynamic block, and in that we'll say review passed, and we have to display the latest review. Okay, so we'll call this reverse function which we have on array. So we'll say reverse, and then we're going to simply map over it. Element, we'll call it recent review I, and we have to simply cut and paste inside that. So we'll get the only one review which we want to display here. So let's remove this one, and here we can display the reviewer address, those who have given the review latestly, and we have to slice it down. So we'll say 0 to 20 and dot, and down here we can display the address, the review, and this will be the dynamic one. So what we'll say that we'll take this review, we'll say comment if its length is going to be greater or equal to 50, then we want to display only small number of message, like we'll say review dot comment, and we have to simply slice it down. So we'll say slice, and I want to display only 60 characters, otherwise we can display the entire review. So like recent review, and we can simply pass the comment. Okay, something's wrong, I'm getting this error message. So what I can do is simply bring this on side and paste here, and that will fix the issue. You can see it's working fine. So if the length is greater than that, so display this, otherwise display this. Come here, then we have to slice it down because we want to display only one review. That's also looking good. And this is the bidding section we have, and here we're going to change. Here we're going to say the stats, display the stats of the property. So simply say property stats, and we can come here and close this, and let's feed the data one by one. So this will be the, let's say, price, and we can display the price here, property price. Actually I don't need to display here, so let's simply cut this one and cut this one and display here in the span. So that's the div block. Go to the second one. Here we can display the, let's say, display the we can display the comment, the number of comment particular property has got, and here we can display the number. So we'll have the parse review, and we have the length, so we can simply pass the length, and that will give the number of review the particular property has got. Let's come to here we'll say interested, and we'll pass the number of user are interested. So we'll have the parse review and the length, and here we have, so we'll simply remove that one and display the counter timer. Okay, so we'll say timer left, and we have this counter, and that we have to simply pass the date. So the date would be something like date dot now, and you can give any arbitrary number. So I'll give this big number. It's going to be close to 6 days maybe. So that looks pretty fine, and this is the button we have. Now what I will do, I'm going to simply remove this one, and here we're going to add a on click function, and on the on click function we have to add this buying function. That looks fine. We can come here and we'll say if buying is true, then we have to call this loader component, otherwise we have to display the actual button, and it will going to be a template literal, and that will say property dot price. Then we have to define the Matty coin, and we'll say buy property. Remove this one. So this is the buying button we have ready. Now what we can do is we need to display one more button for the comment. So what I will do, I'll simply grab this one and I'm going to paste here, and in that I will remove this one, and I will take this data attribute bs toggle, in that I have to pass this model. Now we'll take another data attribute, we'll say bs, and this will say target, and in that we have to pass the target. So this is the target you have to pass, place bid model, and we have the model and we have the target. So looking absolutely fine, and this will allow us to open our dynamic block. So what I will do, I'll simply remove this one and we'll say add comment. So that's the thing we have to do. So hope this entire thing makes sense. Remove this one, and okay, we have this two function unused. Why? So we can do one thing. Come here and you can see the times and description, everything is displaying fine. We are displaying all of the data. This is the recent review, and here we have the 0 review. This is the update price. You can see, you can open and you can update the price of the property. So that's also working fine. And if you add the comment, you can see this is the bid. We have to update this one, we have to change that. So we can do that. Now if you come here, comment user interest, right now we have no users. So let's do one thing. Let's see that why we are not using this two functions. So let's come up here and let's get this function by property, and here we are. So first thing, we have to add the on click function on the like, and this is the function we're going to call like review call. So whenever they will click on the CSV icon, they can like the review, and here we have to call the buying property. So I was using buying loading, but instead of buying loading we have to use buy property. So that looks fine. So it's pretty good, looks fine. Now what we can do, come up here. So we have used all of this function, all of the props. Now come back to the detail page, and if you click on that, now we have to work on this comment model. So let me come here, go back to the comeback details, and here we have to send the props. So we have done with the detail 2 component. Let's work on the other component. So we have to send the props in the detail 3. Let's send the props in detail 7 as well. So it will be have the property data, it will also have the set upper property price, and then we have to set this one as well. And now we have to send one more props, and this will be for the update property price, and we have to send that as well. So these are the 3 props we are sending, and the last one is going to be the update and price loading. So we can display the loader, and we have to send the same thing. So these are the 4 props we are sending in the detail 7. And now what we can do, come back to the detail 8 and let's set the property. So we have to send the create review, because in that we will allow user to create review by clicking and passing the data. We'll attach this function handle form field change, and then we have to attach the comment loading to comment loading. So we have this 3, and we're going to receive that one. So let's come back to the 8 component and receive one by one. So we have create review, handle, field change, and comment loading. Come and paste here. And here we have to do a little bit modifications in the detail 8. So we have these 3 props. Let's remove this icon, and you can see still loading. We have no issues in that. Just wait. And here we have the data, everything's working fine. Now we have to replace all of this data. So here we're going to say that give review, and here we have to display the short message. You can display whatever you want. So I can display that kindly provide your review for a better user experience. So that looks fine. Now what I can do, I can come up here, I can change this to your comment, and here we have this div. I can simply do one thing. I can select this one and remove this, and instead of that I'm going to take this like text area, and in that we have to take this name, we have to take the ID, and we can take the class. So let's take the column. So we can assign close to 30 columns, and we have to take the rows. So we'll take the row to 5, and we'll attach this on change function, and in that we have to call this field function we have created. So we'll say handle field form and call that function, and we have to pass the name of the data. So we'll add this comment because that's the data we want to update in our state variable, and then we have to pass this event. So that looks pretty fine. So this is the text area we have, and you can see we can easily able to pass the data, and we can update all of these things. We don't need this balance, so what we'll do is we'll simply remove that one. So close this one, remove it, and we can remove this as well. We don't need this, and here we can attach the symbol, span, and we can type a short message. So your feedback will help other user of the property to provide better service. So that's the message, and looks pretty fine. And here we can simply do one thing. So this is the cancel button. We don't need to do anything in here, and here we have the convert this anchor to button tag, and we can remove this one, and here we can attach the on click function, and on that we're going to simply attach the function for creating the review. Let's attach that creating review, and here we'll say remove the sticks and say review. So if comment is loading, then we can display the true. Is if the comment loading is true, then we have to display the loader, otherwise we have to display our text message. So we'll say add review. Looks pretty fine. Let's import this loader because we have to call the loader, and if you can see, you can close and you can open, everything's working fine. So now what we will do is we can come up here, the data is arriving, and here we have the data. Now click on this and let's add the review. Simply select this piece of text and paste here and click on this add review, and here I'm getting this error message. Okay, and the transaction is happening. So what I will do, I'll simply complete the transaction, click on confirm. So we have some problem in the loading. It's loading. I think I've misspelled the loading component name. Let's do the inspect element. You can see we have this entire object which contain the information. So let's come back to the MetaMask, and the transaction went through. Here we can see the logs. Reload the browser, and you can see, just wait. So we have successfully created this review, and if you come here, you can see this is the recent review we have. This is the review section. Okay, we have something wrong here, but the data is displaying. Okay, we have to align it properly. So what I can do is, this is the loader we have. Okay, even we are not calling this loader, simply grab that one, and this say loader, not loading, my bad, and this will fix the issue. So we have our loader, and that's working fine. Okay, click on this, copy this text and paste here, and okay, this is the spelling bot, copy this one, and I think misspelled, simply paste here. As I told you that I'm bad with the spelling, so that's happened. You can see our loader is also working fine, and the transaction is happening. So here we have to confirm the transaction. Click on confirm, and just a moment, here it's loading. Let's have a look in the MetaMask. Oh, the transaction is completed, and it will close this one, and the transaction went through. You can see the transaction went through. Simply reload the browser and you will find the second review we have created. So this is the recent one we have given, and you can come and you can see this is the two review we have. So both are looking fine. We have two different user, same user has shown the comment. So it looks fine. This is the detail, comment, and user interested. So pretty good, pretty good. Now we have to click on this heart icon to add the comment. But as I told you that this particular contract has a bug. So if I like the first comment, the like will go to the second review. So you can see the transaction is happening, and just a moment, and the transaction got completed. Reload the browser, it will automatically reload, and just have a look. So what we can do is come back to the comment section and okay, we have to display the number of likes a particular review has got. So right now we haven't added that, but we have to attach it. So this is the time, that is the message, this is the user who given their interest. Looks pretty fine, and these are the demo data we have. Now what we can do is let's align this one. So come here and go back to this detail 2, and here we are rendering the review. So this is the one, let me find it out. So this is the tabs, and here we are. So this is the CSV file we have, the icon, and here we are displaying this, but we have to display the number of likes a particular review has got. So this is the actual review. This is good, but why we are getting this in this way? So what I can do is, let's type as, okay, that's the one. Simply do one thing, cut this div and paste here, and in that way the span will stand from the next line. You can see right now it's perfectly aligned, but why we are having this particular color? We don't want to have this, we don't want to have the normal one. And I can see that I have to add a span, not pam. Okay, so that will fix the issue. You can see it's looking pretty fine. And now what we can do is we have to attach the number of likes a particular review has got, and that's what we can attach. So if I comment this one, okay, that looks fine. So I can do one thing, I can attach the number here. So I'll take the strong tab, and in that I can display the number of likes a particular review has got. So we'll have this review dot likes, and if I save it, you can see, as I told you that if I like the first review but the review is gone to the second one, so we have bug in the contract. Let me give this some space, and that looks pretty good. In the updated smart contract, this problem is solved, don't need to worry about that. Okay, and now we can work on the update price, this one. So what we can do, close this one, come back to the 7 detail, and here we have to receive the props we have sent. So we'll take the property, we have to take all of this data. So we'll take this set property price, we have to take the update property price, then we have to take this update price loading. So these are the 4 props we are receiving, and we can come here. If we come back to the detail page, and here we have this function which allows us to create the property, so that's also we have to receive here, and we have to send in the prop as well. So send that in the prop. So that things are making sense to all of you guys what we have done. So we have received, now we have to work on this detail 7. Remove this text to update property price. That's what we have here. We can display the message, so we'll provide the address of the property owner. So we'll say property dot owner, and we don't want to display the whole address, and display the owner address. So let's make it 15. Let's look good, and we can display this: kindly update your property price. So this is the short message we have, and here we can say price, and we have this text, so we can simply do one thing, the old price, and then that we can say the price property dot price. So we have the price, and we can display the meta, and here looks fine. And we can also attach this on change function, and because we have to update the price in our state variable, so we can pass into the function. So we'll say set update property price, and that we have to deconstruct that. So we have this update property price, and then we have to target the price and update the value. So that looks pretty fine. So this is the state variable we have, and here what we can do, this is say report. So here we can attach a on click function, and on the on click function we have to call the function. So we'll say, let's say update property price. That's what we have here, and we'll say simply if update price loading is true, then we have to display the loader, otherwise we have to display the text message. So we'll say this text message upload price. So that looks fine. This is the dynamic block. We have already imported the loader, and that's pretty good. Now we can come here. We are getting this error message, no need to worry, simply reload the browser, and you can see we have no more issues. And if you are getting any error, try to have a look on the complete code. In that we have fixed all the bugs which you can possibly imagine or have in the project, so make sure to refer to the final code. And here we have all the data is working fine. We have this update. We can now update the price. So this is what we have. You can simply type the price and you can update. So let's update the price to 100 and click on update. It's loading. Here is the MetaMask, and we have to click on confirm, and here the transaction is happening. Just a moment. So this is the transaction is happening right now, so it's taking a little bit time, so just wait. Click on the MetaMask and let's have a look. So right now you can see the transaction went through, but yeah, finally it's went through, and here we have the loading. And now we can simply fetch the information. You can see the pricing is updated to 100 Metacoin. That's a lot of money, and that's working good. No issues we have. And if I try to buy the property, I won't, because we have problem in the buying property functions, which we have already fixed in the final code. So make sure to refer that, or just wait. I will show you how you can fix that as well. So if you do the console log, you will find the exact problem we are having in the buying property function. So come here, and here you can see this is the entire logs you will get. So we have some issues in the ID and in the pricing we are passing, and that's what we have to fix. And here you can see we got the same error, so we have to do the changes in the contract. So right now just keep it like it for the time being, and the other things are working fine. We are displaying the data, liking, updating, fetching the information, rendering the user comment, like everything's working fine. Now this is look good. This update pricing also looking good, and now we can feed the actual data in these properties. So close this one, come back here, close this one in the detail page, and this is the one we have. So simply receive the props and get the props here, and we have to render the entire property. So what I will do here is, we have the property, and let's find out. So this is the row, so simply close this one. This is the 1 2 3 4 5. So we have this 5 property, and we don't need to type one by one because we can render it very easily. So simply do one thing, simply comment this one, and we'll take the dynamic block, and we'll say property map, we'll say property I, and we have to simply instant return and cut and paste inside this. So this will render the property. Now what we can do is come up here, we can simply feed the actual data. So let's take a anchor tag, and because we have to redirect to the reload the browser with the proper ID, so we'll provide the path, and in that we have to pass the ID of the property, so we can fetch the information, which is the property ID. Now close this one, cut and paste here. So that looks fine. And now we can do one thing. So here we have the image, so we can display the actual image of the property which we have inside this. So with the src, remove this one, property dot image. So we have the image working fine, and you can see the images are broken. Let's remove this s, and here we have the images. and that's image are working fine. This is the profile section. Simply remove this, simply close this one, and we can display. So we'll say property dot reviews. If there is a review, then we have to simply render this component. So simply grab this one, and we have to render the authors, those who have given the review, and we have to pass the address of their wallet. Okay, that looks pretty fine. Provide this one, and okay, this one is good. Remove this. So this one is fine. Now we can remove this one and display the different images. So we'll take this template data and we'll display I plus 1. The same thing we are following here. Okay, that looks fine. Now we'll take another template block, and in that we have to display that interested or not interested. So if there is a length is not equal to 0, then we have to display this particular text or particular class. So in that we'll say more author text, and it will have the href, and here we'll say interest user, and that's the text we want to display. Save it. So far, remove this one, and this is what we have here, and we didn't need this as well because we have already taken that in the review length. So what I will do, I'll simply come here, close this one, and select this portion and remove it, and simply remove this as well. So and we have this one, we remove this, and here we can display the actual product like property title, and we're going to make it dynamic. So if there is a length is greater or equal to 25, then we can display this. So we'll say property dot title, and we have to slice it down to, let's say, 22 characters, else we have to display the entire title. And the reason why we are adding this, because we don't want to change our UI this styling. And here we'll display the category. We'll say property dot category, so that looks fine, and here we have to display the simply the price, property dot price, and close this one, and we'll say Matty not E, and here we have to display the number of reviews a property has got. So that looks also good. Remove this entire one, and pretty good. You can see we have all of these dynamic blocks. The data is loading, and here we are having the dynamic blocks. This is the one we have. We can simply check all the comments, details and all, and it's taking a little bit time because we have the animation. So we can simply remove that animation, slide up, and that will fix the issue. So what we can do is come here, and this is the profile we have. This is the one we have to remove, and it will fix the issue. You can see we have the user interested, we have the title, category, and the price and the likes. If you click on that, you can simply, okay, we have some issues here. We are redirecting to the product details in HTML, but that's not what we want to redirect. So that looks pretty good. Okay, you can see on over we can easily able to find the address of the user who have interest. You can click on that, and you can see we are redirecting here. So let's find out why it's happening, and here we have simply remove this one and provide this hash, and this will fix the issue. That will fix the issue. So it's taking a little bit time. Here we have the data. Click on this. Here is the one. So what I will do, I'll simply remove this one. We don't need it. Save it, reload the browser, remove this hatch, and here we have the data. So just a moment. Now if you click on this, you can reload the browser, and right now it says undefined. Why? So let's come here. I think it's small d, that's why it's giving me the error. Reload the browser one more time. Let's check the final test. We can click on this. Here we are. You can see property 2, and now we will have the different property details. You can see the data is in a change. Click on this, and we have the different one. So this one looking fine, no comment, no nothing at all. So it looks pretty good. All of the things are working fine. Comment is working fine, so you can paste and add the comment. Loading is also working fine. Here is the MetaMask. Click on confirm, and the transaction will complete it, and you will have a review on the property. Just a moment, it's happening, and it's taking a little bit time. And finally, the review, you have given the review, close this one. So things are working fine. You can able to fetch the information about the properties, and here we have given the one comment, interested, and things are looking good. If you want to like this particular comment, you can open the MetaMask and you can confirm it, and the transaction is happening. Just wait. You can do one thing, you can display a loader, but I will keep it on you guys. I will just go like this, so just wait. The transaction is happening, and here the transaction completed, and the browser reload, and you will have a like on this particular review. You can see the one like you have given. So it's good when you will have one review, and when you will like on that review, it will work fine. But when you will have a multiple review, so when you will like the review A, that like will go to review B. So that's the bug we have. Things looks good. You can click and you can have the details about the properties. So that's working fine. You can simply tag, you can add more images. Now come back to the VS and close this one, and we are done with this entire detail page. And now we're going to work on the next page, which is a create property. So that's what we're going to cover in the next video. Hope you guys have understood that what we have covered and how everything is working. With that, let's move to the next video.